Colt came to me by nightfall, our little ones already asleep. He looked to them, then to me. In a whisper, he spoke to me. "I'm sorry, my Snowfeather, but after speaking with Abel, I had him moved to the underground for the time being. He is to help prepare for the battles that I fear may be closer than we thought. And I think I should join him at nights to help plan our next steps. Will you be all right with this?" I looked to our children. It was almost a relief to hear this, but at the same time it stung in its own way. "Yes, we will be fine. I'm taking Abira to see my family tomorrow morning with Traveler. Firefly is in need of a few things that I think my mother might have knowledge of." Colt kissed my head. "Then have a safe journey to the city, my love. I wish I could come with you, but if it's not I with you, I'm glad it's Abira and Traveler by your side. I'll be off then," I smiled to reassure him. But I hated this idea of not being next to him. But even I knew I had more time with him than many new stallions had to give to their mare. Colt looked to the children once more, then left so as not to wake them. I curled up on our bed, sliding under the blankets. It was almost too warm for them. But somehow it made me feel like I could just hide away from the problems and the dread of tomorrow's time in the city, at least for one night. Without Colt, it wasn't like me to get up as early, but something stirred me awake. It was our son playing with my hair, looking to me as I slept. I opened my eyes to him smiling. "Can I go play?" I rose up to see the sun wasn't quite up yet. Rubbing my eyes, I looked to him. Lyra was still sleeping. I lifted him up. "How about some breakfast first? The sun isn't even up yet." He nodded. "Does some berries and porridge sound good to you?" He nodded again as I snuggled him a moment before putting him down. "Let's not wake your sister yet, okay?" He went and sat at the table. I couldn't help but watch him. He was so much like Colt, making me smile. He waited patiently for me to cook the food, then adding the berries with a sprinkle of sugar, putting the bowl in front of him. "Thank you, Mommy," he said as he looked to the bowl. "You're welcome," I replied softly as he began to blow into the bowl. Then, taking his spoon, he began to eat it carefully. But there were a few slips here and there as I wiped him off. When he was done eating, he put his bowl in the sink and looked to me. "Can I go play now?" I looked outside. There was fog about. But I could hear the older boys already up with Sam. "All right, but you stay with the other boys, no wandering off, all right?" "Okay, Mommy." I opened the door, and he ran off. I watched as he caught up to the other boys playing on an unbroke pony. I wondered sometimes if I was seeing a glimpse into Colt's childhood. But seeing our sons, nevertheless, I knew it was almost time for Abira to come, so I called in Gretel, who was always waiting her turn with Lyra. It was a great privilege in the herd to help raise a stallion's children, and the responsibility was one not taken lightly, though she never overstepped. Gretel had sat herself down, waiting for Lyra to awake. Another thing she took after me on was sleeping in. Just then, Abira looked in the open door, quietly going over to the cradle, peering in. Traveler was next to him as he too looked into the cradle. Something about them seemed more natural today. Perhaps Abira did have the talk he wished with Traveler last night. Gretel was not one to like a giant lion near the crib, but with my allowance she put up with it. I picked up a few odds and ends and a few things as payment that we would need to get into the city quicker, or else it would take a few days to get to my parents' home by way of the old Haralt's land by horse. We would be taking a different way, one Abira had taken a few times himself, gathering for Firefly's needs. They both waited patiently as I finished packing. Finally, I looked to Gretel. "We will be back from the city as soon as we can." Gretel looked to me, whispering in her honey-smooth voice, "Take your time. She's such a good little filly. Never any trouble." I thanked her again and walked out of the cabin with Abira and Traveler following, taking his paw and shutting the door quietly.